Good morning po. Also, we have from Mariel Limbago. Good morning, cluster 6. A shout out po, Carmen Integrated School, Beshies, headed by Sir Robert Ariate, Masa CIS, Blessed. Kansamnida. Okay, we have also shout outs from Lourdes Maghari Matikadaw. Good morning po. Good morning din po. Okay, from Jenny Parilla, salamat sa Diyos sa panibagong araw na ito. At tayo ay
Hello po. Good morning, ma'am. Hello, masaya akong nakita kita. Yeah, you too, ma'am. So, shall we start with the breakout session? Okay. So, according to John C. Maxwell, according to him, change is inevitable, but growth is optional. Hello, everyone. Good morning to all Cluster 6 school heads and teachers, and also to our Public Schools District Supervisor, Dr. Jonito O. Galan. Good morning, sir.
Right, I agree with you. There's nothing constant in this world but change. That is why we need to be flexible and be willing to adapt to change. Don't resist it, rather, we need to embrace it. Once again, a pleasant good morning to all my co-teachers at Valderas Integrated School and to all the integrated schools. Yes, you are not mistaken. You are sitting in the link for the breakout website intended for the elementary integrated schools. By the way, I'm Juana Rojas, who heads of Valderas Integrated School.
And I am Jermaine Icajes, your Aralpan teacher of Valderas Integrated School. In this breakout session, we will be dealing with the MELCs, or the most essential learning competencies, a walkthrough of the MELCs.
Yes, that's right, Mr. But before we proceed with our webinar for this session, we would like to remind you once again, our dear co-teachers, to have your attendance for this morning. With that, we would like to request our webinar director to kindly flash on the screen once again our link for the morning attendance. Thank you.
Please do review also our teachers your information details because this is very important. Type your name correctly and indicate from what school you are.
Yes, thank you for the reminder, person. Once again, our fellow teachers, please be guided.
Once again, before we start, this session is for elementary teachers of integrated schools in our cluster. By the way, Ma'am Joanna, how many integrated schools do we have in our cluster?
And we have four integrated schools, mainly. We have the New Valencia Integrated School. Hello sa mga taga New Valencia who are watching right now. We also have the Carmen Integrated School and the Bartolome Integrated School, and of course, our dear school, the Derek Integrated School. So in this session, for European,
Yes, ma'am.
as what you have said earlier, we will be presenting the MELT or the most essential learning competencies. So we will be presenting the different MELT for the different subject learning areas.
Yes, that's correct. So at this time, we will formally start our session with the first presenter to discuss on the kindergarten melts, no other than my co-host, Ma'am Joanna May El Rojas of Balderas Integrated School.
Hello, check mic. But dili na madungog, sir. Dili na madungog ang video.
add more sub-competencies depending on the need of the learners. Like for example, we have here the quarter 1, week 1. The content standards is, ang bata ay nagkakaroon ng pag-unawa sa sariling ugali at damdamin. For the performance standards, ang bata ay nakakapagpamalas na kakayahang kontrolin ang sariling damdamin at ugali. At siya ay gumawa ng desisyon at magtagumpay sa kanyang mga gawain. Now, in our socio-emotional and our MELCs, we have the socio-emotional development kung saan nakikilala niya ang kanyang sarili, kanyang pangalan at apelyado, kasarian, gulang at kapanganakan, gusto at di gusto, at the student can use the proper expression in introducing myself such as ako o ang pangalan nako. Now, for quarter 1, week 1, most essential learning competencies, we can also break down on sub-competencies, such as we have the language literacy and communication, the social-emotional development, na ipapakita niya ang tiwala sa sarili, na tugunan ang sariling pangangailangan ng mag-isa, halimbawa na lamang, maghugas ng kamay, kumain, maglinis, magbihis, magligpit, tapusin ang gawaing nasimulan. We also have the creative development or singing, mathematics, recognize and identify numerals from 0 to 10, the physical and health, motor development, na isasagawa ang mga sumusunod na kilos, lokomotor, sa pagtugon sa ritmong mabagal at mabilis. Kagaya na lamang ng paglakad, pagtakbo, pagkandirit, paglundag, pagtalon at paglukso. For the most essential learning competencies, quarter 1, week 2, pagkilala ng sarili at pagpapahayag ng sariling emosyon, week 3, mathematics, geometry, and language literacy, week 4, pagpapaunlad ng kakayahang socio-emotional and language literacy, week 5, pagpapaunlad sa kakayahang socio-emotional and language literacy and communication, week 6, mathematics and understanding physical and natural environment. The week 7 is the mathematics. And week 8, understanding the physical and natural environment. Now for quarter 2, week 1, the content standards, ang bata ay nagkakaroon ng pag-unawa sa konsepto ng pamilya, paaralan, at komunidad bilang kasapi nito. For the performance standards, ang bata ay nakakapagpamalas ng pagmamalaki at kasiyahang makapagkwento ng sariling karanasan bilang bahagi ng pamilya, paaralan at komunidad. For the most essential learning competencies, ito ay ang pakikisalamuha sa iba bilang kasapi ng pamilya. For quarter 2, week 2, we have pagpapaunlad ng kakayahang socio-emotional, week 3, language literacy and communication mathematics, week 4, language literacy and communication, week 5, we also still have the language literacy and communication, the week 6, understanding physical and natural environment and language literacy and communication, week 7, understanding the physical and natural environment. For the quarter 2, also week 8, we have understanding physical and natural environment and the language literacy and communication. Now let's proceed for the example for quarter 3, week 1, wherein the content standard, the child demonstrates an understanding of concepts of size, length, weight, time, and money. Performance standard, ang bata ay nakapagpapamalas ng pagmamalaki at kasiyahang makipagkwento ng sariling karanasan bilang bahagi ng pamilya, paaralan at komunidad, and the child shall be able to use arbitrary measuring tools or means to determine size, length, weight of things around him or her. For the most essential learning competency, we have the measurement and pakikisalamuha sa iba bilang kasapi ng komunidad. Tell the names of days in a week, months in a year,
Nakikilala ang mga taong tumutulong sa komunidad. Quarter 3, Week 2. Pagpapaunlad ng kakayahang makipamuhay. Week 3, kalusugang pisikal at pagpapaunlad ng kakayahang motor. Week 4, language, literacy, and communication in mathematics. Quarter 3, Week 5, we have mathematics, and Week 6, mathematics. For Week 7 and 8, we have kalusugang pisikal at pagpapaunlad ng kakayahang motor. Now, let's proceed to Quarter 4, Week 1. For the content standards, the child demonstrates an understanding of characteristics and needs of how animals grow. The performance standards, the child shall be able to communicate the usefulness of animals and practical ways to care for them. For the most essential learning competencies, we have the physical and natural environment animals, wherein our learner can name common animals, they can observe, describe, and examine common animals, identify the needs of animals, identify and describe how animals can be useful. For Quarter 4, Week 1, we have the understanding physical and natural environment, the same with our Week 2. Week 3, kalusugang pisikal at pagpapaunlad ng kakayahang motor. Week 4, understanding the physical and natural environment. Week 5, we still have the mathematics, and the same with Week 6, Week 7, and Week 8. Now, before I end, I would like to leave this quote. We could learn a lot from crayons. Some are sharp, some are pretty, some are dull, while others are bright. Some have weird names, but they all have learned to live together in the same box. So just like crayons, let us make learning fun and colorful, and let's blend together so that we can make everything beautiful and successful for our kindergarten learners. So that's all. Once again, good day.
Ayan, thank you so much, Ma'am Joanna, for presenting to us the melts in the kindergarten.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Ma'am. So that was the kindergarten melts. I hope you have learned something from that. And to sum it up, what do you think is the importance of having melts in our curriculum, Ma'am Joanna?
So, to sum it up, the significance of MELCs is to focus on the most essential and indispensable competencies that will give the children lifelong learning. So, this is created in order for our students to have quality education amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So at this time, we will proceed to our next presenter.
Yes. We'll proceed to our next presenter for our MAPE. She is Mrs. Edna M. Rivera for the MAPE subject.
Hello everybody, I am Edna Rivera at your service, ang inyong ultimong silgoon sa MAPE. Before I will start my presentation, I would like to give due respect to our PSDS, Dr. Junito Ogalan, sir, to our MAPE consultant in Cluster 6, Ma'am Heidi Porzuelo, and of course to our MAPE coordinating head, Dr. Emina Bukong, to all Cluster 6 school heads, teacher participants, have a good day to all of you. My task for today is to present the most essential learning competencies in MAPE elementary level from grades 1 to 6. Yan po. To start with, may I show you the process how to identify the MELs from the K to 12 curriculum guide down to the essential learning competencies and to the most essential learning competencies. So we have here the K to 12 most essential learning competencies or the MELC are not departure from the K-12 curriculum. Standards, content, and performance standards are retained. It focuses on the attainment of the 21st century skills. The codes and tag materials are retained for merged and retained competencies. All learning areas will still be taught. As a general rule, learning competencies are retained, merged or clustered, dropped, or rephrased. Okay, we have here sample of MELP. For music, for grade 2 quarter 2, is mandated to demonstrate the melodic contour with movement. So it was rephrased into demonstrates melodic contour through movement, music writing on paper or on air, and visual imagery. For the arts, grade 10, quarter 1, determine the role or function of artworks by evaluating the utilization and combination of art elements and principles. So instead of determining, it was rephrased into explain the role or function of artworks by evaluating their utilization and combination of art elements and principles. And for physical education, grades 1, quarter 3, describes the difference between slow and fast, heavy and light, free and bound movements. So instead of describe, it was rephrased into demonstrate the difference between slow and fast, heavy and light, free and bound movements. And for the health education, grade 2, quarter 1, discusses the importance of functional food. It was rephrased into discusses the important function of food and balanced meals. Ayan po. Those are the example of milk. So, to show you more, we have here the current stages versus melts in MAPE. So for grade 1, we have 84. For grade 2, we have 82. For grade 3, we have 102. Grade 4, 92. Grade 5, 99. And grade 6, 96. So the percentage of melts as compared to the CGs is 69%. Percentage of melts as compared to the total number of melts is 18%. Here's a table of comparison for the number of LCs in original ELCs and MELC for music from grades 1 to 6. So let's take an example in grade 3. In current CG, we have 42. And for the ELC, we have 33. And down to the MELC, which is 20 na lang po. So to show you more, we have here a graph for music elementary, it was being reduced from first to fourth quarter. And most of the competencies were merged and it can be seen in the graph presented. Ayan po, for music. And now let's move on to the table comparison of the arts for grades 1 to 6. Let's take an example for grade 6. We have current CG of 40, ELC is 23, and the MLC is only 36. Ayan po, nag-increase konti. To show you more, here's a graph for Arts Elementary. It was being reduced again from first to fourth quarter. Most of the competencies were merged. It can be seen in the graph. Dito pa. Ayan, let's take a look again the comparison table for physical education from grades 1 to 6. So for grade 1, we have current CG of 28 and for the ALC of 20 and down to the MELCs of 15. So on and so forth. So again, here's a graph for physical education elementary, how it was being reduced from first to fourth quarter. So again, most of the competencies were merged. It can be seen on the graph presented to all of you. The last one is the table comparison of health education from grades 1 to 6. For example, in the grade 3, 41 current CG, ELC is 36, and down to MLCs of 34. So we could see here in the graph that health education and elementary was being reduced again from first to fourth quarter. Most of the competencies again will merge and it can be seen on the graph I am showing to all of you. So, most essential learning competencies. How are you going to use the map? Sample. For grade 6 music, we have here a content standard. It says demonstrate understanding of the concept of rhythm by applying notes and rest, rhythmic patterns, and time signature. So it was break into 8 weeks. So we have the performance standard that the learner responds to beats and music heard with appropriate conducting patterns of 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 6/8. So the learner will identify the values of the notes. They are already allowed to differentiate hourly among 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 6/8. They can also demonstrate the conducting gestures in the time signatures of 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 6/8. The learner also can create rhythmic patterns in time signature of 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 6/8 in the week 6 to 8. Add more, again, add more subtopics of Aralin Rimel. So we have also example in the arts. The learner is mandated to demonstrate understanding of the use of lines, shapes, colors, texture, and the principles, emphasis, and contrast in drawing a logo and own a cartoon character using the new technologies in drawing. So we have there new technologies. So in the performance standards, the learner creates concepts through art processes, elements, and principles using new technologies, hardware and software to create personal or class logo, designs cartoon character on the spot using new techniques. So it was divided in the most essential learning competencies and the different activities that these learners could discuss the concept, they can explain the elements, they can apply the concept, they can utilize the art skills, they can create personal or class logo, they can explain ideas about the logo, they can explain the elements and principles, they can apply concepts, and of course, they can utilize the art skills. Next, let's proceed to the physical education. In the content standard, the learner demonstrates understanding of participation and assessment of physical activity and physical fitness. So in the performance standard, the learner participates and assesses performance in physical activities, assesses physical fitness. So in the most essential learning competencies, break down into assesses regularly participation, observes safety precautions, executes the different skills involved in the game, displays joys of effort, respect for others, and fair play during participation in the physical activity. So they have a lot of durations. This competency is already embedded in other ELCs. This competency is, as I said, embedded in other ELCs. Let's proceed to the health. Yan, ang dami po kasi ng MAPE. We have the four components. I'm sure na napapagod na po kayo nanonood. But let's continue. For the content standards, it demonstrates understanding of personal health, issues and concerns, the importance of health appraisal, procedures and community resources, and preventing or managing them. So, in the performance standards, practices self-management skills to prevent and control personal health issues and concerns. So, in the most essential learning competencies, the learners will describe personal health. They can demonstrate self-management skills. They can explain in the importance. They can regularly undergo health appraisal procedures. They can identify community health resources and facilities that may be utilized to address a variety of personal health issues and concerns. So it was divided into 8 weeks duration. Ayan. So, guys, those are the samples of the MELs and the different components of music, arts, PE, and health. For now, before I proceed to our next task, I would like to, we are all thankful that our education program supervisor in MAPE, Dr. Elsie E. Gagabe, is a very energetic and very dynamic for doing the initiative of making the different modules for music, arts, PE, and health. So She initiated to provide us all the modules for the first quarter up to the fourth quarter. All the milks were in for the first quarter were already released in the field. Maybe it's now in the hands of your school coordinators. So hopefully, nasa kanila na po. So for Music Elementary, we have in the first quarter, we have 41 modules. In second quarter, 40. And for the third, 40. And the fourth, 40. Ayan po. For the arts, we have 26 in the first quarter, second 29, and third 29, and fourth 29. And of course, for the milks in physical education module, we have first quarter 20, second 9, third 8, and fourth quarter 8. And of course, for the health, the first quarter is 42, second 23, third is 32, and fourth is 34. So we have also our teacher writers in the self-directed supplementary learning material. Ang swerte po nating lahat dito sa Davao City. Okay, so we have 39 elementary team in music. We have 29 writers in arts. And of course, we have 30 writers in physical education. And we have 42 writers in health elementary team. Ayan po. Modules were evaluated by our beloved Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Reynaldo Guillena, sa 5. Maraming salamat po sa pagbigay ng panahon sa pag-evaluate ng aming modules. Ayan po. We would like also to thank our MAPI coordinating school heads and elementary. Ayan po silang lahat. And of course, our team leaders, headed by, of course, our Schools Division Superintendent, and with Doc Elsa Intero Gagabe. Thank you so much po. So, soft copy for modules and MELCs in elementary will be sent to your respective school subject coordinators. So, thank you and mabuhay. Basta mape, gahot permi. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Edna. Basta mape, gahot, pirni. Tama ba, Sir Jermaine?
Tama kayo, gahot jud basta mape ma'am.
So, hunat ka, gahot pa jud.
So, I would like to remind our co-teachers here kasi parang meron pang nalilito kasi may high school na pumapasok dito sa ating link. Again, this is intended for integrated elementary teachers po. And as referring to our number of viewers, we have 17 viewers. So co-teachers, kindly inform also your co-teachers to give them the link for this breakout session para kapanood din sila.
Yes. So, this is intended for the elementary department. Tama,
Yes, ma'am.
sir?
Yes, correct po, ma'am.
So,
Meron
as
pa
what
shout out dyan?
Yes, we would like to say hello to Sir Ayan from Valderas Integrated School.
Yan, nanonood talaga yan sila kahit na mahirap ang signal doon.
Yes, kahit poor signal tayo. Hello, Sir Ayan, Ma'am Divine, Ma'am Jaisel. Sino ka, sir? Ma'am Hazel.
Yes,
And of course, Sir Basilia and Sir Jermaine are here with us.
that's correct. So, I think we will proceed now to the next presenter.
Yes.
And our next presenter will be coming from the TLE department to be given to us by Ma'am Priscilla A. Bednar.
Pleasant afternoon to all of us, especially to Dr. Janito Ogalan, BSDS of Cluster 6, to all the school heads, the coordinators, the technical team, the participants, and the guests. Good day. My main task today is to share with you a number of slides that I borrowed from Dr. Marcelo O. Rocco. So this is the beginning of my tasks. Again, thank you for Dr. Marcelo Oroco, for allowing me to use your PowerPoint presentation. Again, this is the beginning, the walkthrough of the milks for EPPTLE. So these are the objectives of my presentation. First, discuss the characteristics of milks, identify the components of milks, interpret the codes found in the milks, explore how to use the milks. So, milks means most essential learning competencies. Focus instruction to the most essential and indispensable competencies that our learners must acquire. It will lighten the burden of converting classroom-oriented learning resources into learning resources adapted to distance learning. It serves as one of the guides for teachers as they adjust the instructional needs of learners while ensuring that curriculum standards are maintained. Lastly, the content and performance are indicated in MELCs are anchored on the prescribed standards of the curriculum guide. The characteristics of most essential learning competency. First, it should remain with learners long after a test or unit of study is completed and is useful beyond a single test or unit of study. It is applicable for to real life situations. If students leave school, it would still be important for them to have this competency above many others. It is aligned with national or local standards or frameworks. It connects the content to higher concepts across content areas. So these are the characteristics of most essential learning competency. Now, streamlining of K to 12 curriculum into the most essential learning competencies. So from essential learning competencies, it becomes most essential learning competencies. So the subject APPTLE has 883 LCs, but this time for the MEX, it is now reduced to 749. Therefore, there are only 85% of the LCs are being utilized in the milks and the 15% of the LCs are being removed. So let's go to TBL. TBL has 95 specializations. It composed of four components: HE or Home Economics, IA or Industrial Arts, ICT or Information and Communication Technology, AFA or Agriculture and Fishery Arts. No MELCs released yet as they may affect national assessment. What are the components of MELCs? One is the quarter, content standards, performance standards, most essential learning competencies, duration, and codes. Quarter refers to the time or period where typical coverage in grade level is given. This is the sample. This is where we can find the quarter on the first column of your plan. Content standard identifies and set the essential understanding that should be learned in a specific period, covers specified scope of sequential topics within its learning strand to main theme or component. Content standards answer the learner's know, do, and understand. So this is where you can find the content standard in the plan. This is on the second column. Performance standards describe the abilities and skills that learners are expected to demonstrate in relation to the content standards. The integration of knowledge, understanding, and skills is expressed through creation, innovation, and adding value to products or performance during independent work or in collaboration with others. That is the performance standard. So it can be seen in the third column of your plan. Most essential learning competencies. Okay, this refers to the knowledge, understandings, skills, and attitude that students need to demonstrate in every lesson or learning activities. So this is where you can find for the most essential learning in the plan on the fourth column. Duration refers to the number of weeks a particular learning competency will be taught. Okay, this can be on this column, third week. So this will give us an impression that the topic will last for 3 weeks. The code. This was initiated in order to identify learning competencies that are connected and exhibited spiral progression. The LCs bear the same code number. This is also connected to the creation of the LRMDS or Learning Resources Management and Development System. The sample is here. You can see all the time that the code is written on the last column. Read the code. Okay, this is the code TLE underscore HEDM9SK dash L dash 1 A to C dash 1. Okay, the last number is the LO, but TLE is now the subject. HE is the strand, home economics. DM is the specialization, dressmaking. And A to C is the week. 9 is the grade level. SK is the lesson. 1 is the quarter. So if you happen to see this, I hope you won't forget, but you will be able to undo the code. EPP-TLE melts were identified in the four components, which are as follows: industrial arts or IA, home economics or HE, agriculture and fishery arts or AFA, information, communication and technology or ICT. How to use MELCs in teaching EPP, TLE, TBL. The duration stipulated in this document is not prescriptive, but are suggestive. Nonetheless, the MELCs remain non-negotiable. The following are the premises to be considered in utilizing MELCs for teaching EPP, TLE, TBL. Entrepreneurship is embedded in the four components of EPP, TLE. MELCs that may be too broad have to be unpacked by the teachers. Sub-learning competencies that are redundant were removed to satisfy 8 to 9 weeks allotment per part for grade 7 and 8 exploratory. There is an option to choose 4 mini courses in ICT, AFE, HE, IE. Each mini course is good for or 8 to 9 weeks per quarter. For grade 7 and 8 exploratory, the last 2 to 3 weeks are allotted for entrepreneurship. Okay, the basis, clustering of some mini courses according to their sector. So grouping of mini courses. Consideration that they have the same tools, equipment, materials, and competencies. First, mini courses agriculture production in C1 and C2 and horticulture combined in one curriculum guide. So, once to look for the milks, refer to the milks for milk crop production sector. Another example, group together carpentry, masonry, plumbing, welding, EIM, EPAS. So, you will be using the milks for construction sector. Basis 2, combining the learning competencies to simplify the teaching days without omitting the whole value. Let us look into it. Curriculum guide, most essential learning competencies. Okay? So combining, select farm tools according to use. In the milk, select a farm tool and equipment. So try to check what happened to the milks, LO1. Okay? LO1.1, identify farm tools for faults. In the milks, identify farm tools and equipment according to use. There's an additional equipment according to use. Let's go to number 3. Use appropriate tools for the job requirement according to manufacturer's specification and instruction. So in the milk, use appropriate tools and equipment for the job requirement according to manufacturer's specification and instruction. It's almost the same. So there's another sample below. So let's just proceed to the next basis. Rephrasing the standards to make it clearer for the teachers to understand its content. Let's see the curriculum guide column and most essential learning competencies column. Let's check. Before, the content standard states the learner demonstrate an understanding of estimation and basic calculation. For the milks, the learner demonstrates an understanding of estimation and basic calculation needed in the workplace. So there is another additional phrase. For the performance standards in the curriculum guide, it says the learner accurately performs estimation and basic calculation. And look at what happened at the milks performance standards. The learner accurately performs estimation and basic calculation needed in the workplace. There is an additional phrase for clearer understanding. Sample of competency lesson 4. Apply safety measures in farm operations. In the milks, lesson 4, apply safety measures in fishery farm operations. Okay? So the next slide, general information. For most of the TLE-TVL specializations, the curriculum guides remain as is. MEOCs were not identified because the competencies are based on the training regulations, TR of TESDA, which were amended or modified for present situation, but will be delivered through flexible learning modes as stated in TESDA's circular number 62 series of 2020. However, regardless of the learning modalities, nominal hours remain the same except for the following suggested specializations. Example, handicraft and other TLE-TVL specializations that are non-NC or that may not affect the assessment of the learners are suggested to be offered this year. The performance or skills of this specialization can be taught and assessed either in school or at home. Local materials are available in the community. So another one, the beauty care. Under this, the nail care, foot spa or hand spa. Then the hairdressing, barbering, and other TLE and TVL specializations. Similar to this are also recommended to be offered this year. These have national certification assessment, but the performance or skills can be taught and assessed either in school or at home. Sample myths for these specializations are suggested to be used. For TLE-TVL specializations, consider the resources available in school, at home, or in the community in choosing which course or courses to be offered since health is of utmost concern. In instances where the learners cannot physically attend the class, the learners should still be able to perform the tasks as stated in the CG. On the other hand, in cases where competencies are not feasible or not attainable due to various circumstances, the teacher may give an alternative activity provided it is aligned with the substituted learning competencies. Nice to hear all this information. I hope it's very clear in our hearts, in our mind, everything that we're going to do for this school year. So, thank you. May God protect us always. And also thank you to Dr. Marcelo Oroco for the PowerPoint he made, for allowing me to use it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Priscilla A. Bignar. He taught us about the TLE melts. And according to her, um, TLE melts are applicable to real life situations, and which I really agree. And according to her, if there are instances that a pupil cannot attend the class physically, he or she should be able to do the performance tasks stated in the curriculum guide. So, in short, MELCs are not negotiable.
Okay, that's right, Sir Jermaine. So once again, the most essential learning competencies are merged and reduced, focusing on what is the most essential competencies that could really help our learners.
Correct.
So before we proceed to our next presenter, greet muna natin ang mga taga New Valencia Integrated School teachers.
Ay, andito
So,
pala si Ma'am
nandito
Priscilla.
din
Oh.
po pala si Ma'am
Hello, Ma'am. Good
Priscilla.
morning.
Good morning, Ma'am Priscilla.
Hello, good morning, Joanne and Germs. Thank you
Hello
for
po,
your
ma'am.
service
You're
today.
looking great, ma'am.
Thank you, just like you.
Thank you.
Trying to cooperate.
So, any words, additional
I,
words, Ma'am Priscilla?
I think it's very beneficial for all teachers, especially in the elementary, because we're going to succumb this year with the new changes of the curriculum. May they be able to give what is expected of them to deliver to the learners, especially the young ones, because
Yes.
it's very important to mold these young children into how they would become in the future. They are our really most important clientele in our department. So good luck to all of us, especially the elementary teachers. Good morning.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Ma'am
so much.
Priscilla. I really agree with that because being an elementary teacher is really challenging. You really need to have patience and determination in order for the students to really learn well. Do you agree, Sir Jermaine?
Yes, and speaking of challenging, we know already that PLE it needs
Yes.
really practical activities. So this is really a challenge for all the elementary teachers on how they are
Yeah.
going to teach PLE, knowing that most of our integrated schools are using modular modes of learning.
Yes. So I hope that we could really fit in with the new normal. So I know that we just need to live one day at a time, Sir Jermaine.
Correct, ma'am. Correct. I agree.
So i-greet muna natin ang mga taga New Valencia Integrated
Hello.
School. I hope they're watching. Hello New Valencia. Hello Ma'am Irma.
Hello po.
And Ma'am Tita, Ma'am Antoinette, Ma'am Marichu, and hello Ma'am Guy. And of course, headed with our dynamic school head, none other than Sir Antonio Tutor. So
Good
hello sa
morning,
mga taga
sir.
New
Good morning,
Valencia.
Sir
Good
Antonio Toto.
morning. So Sir Jermaine, what's next?
So, our next presenter will be the Araling Panlipunan Department to be given to us by Ma'am Maria, no, Miss Catherine Lian Dilar.
Yes. Let's welcome Miss Catherine Landeliar. So while waiting, Sir Jermaine, I would like to ask you, what's your favorite subject when you were younger?
Of course,
Since
my
we were
favorite
talking about
subject is
the
Araling Panlipunan.
oh, I thought it's recess. No.
That's
So
one
me, my
also.
favorite subject, even if you don't ask, I like Filipino because
Filipino.
my teacher is very energetic and very entertaining. So yours is Aralpan. Why?
Aralpan.
Why do you like Aralpan?
Maybe because uh, I really like Araling Panlipunan since
Okay.
elementary. Iba kasi yung teacher namin sa Araling Panlipunan. Yung iba, sabi nila, boring daw Araling Panlipunan, nakakatulog. Pero iba
Yes.
yung teacher namin sa elementary. Maging sa high school, they really are good in teaching Araling Panlipunan. You cannot even sleep, even a second.
Wow. So that's a wonderful lesson for all our teachers. And now we are ready for the next presentation. So once again, let's listen to Miss Catherine Landeliar for the Aral Plan subject.
Rinaldo M. Villena, CISO 5, the School Division Superintendent, Araling Palipunan Education Program Supervisor, Amelia Lacerna, Janito Ugalan, Public School District Supervisor, Leia M. Camilutes, Mintal Comprehensive High School Principal 2, Cluster 6 teachers and stakeholders, good day. In my behalf, Mrs. Catherine Landiliar, Teacher 2 from Los Amigos National High School, will present the MELS in Aralin Palipunan from grades 1 to 6. And Mr. Alvin P. Aquitania, Teacher 1 from Matina Biao National High School, will present the MELS in Aralin Palipunan from grades 7 to 10.
Isang mapagpalang araw po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Catherine Yandelar ng Los Amigos National High School na inatasan upang maglahad sa inyo tungkol sa pinakamahalagang pamantayan sa pagkatuto o most essential learning competencies sa araling palipunan mula sa elementarya na ibinahagi sa atin ng ating education program curriculum development ang pagbuo ng pinakamahalagang kasanayang pampagkatuto upang tugunan ang mga hamong kaakibat ng COVID-19. Tulad ng mas maikling panahon ng pagpasok sa paralan, limitadong interaksyon sa pagitan ng mag-aaral at guro, at mga kaugnayan na hamon na may kinalaman sa instructional delivery. Sa pagtukoy ng most essential learning competencies, ginamit ang pamantayang enduring, lifelong learning, mga kaalamang nananatili sa mahabang panahon na magagamit ng mga mag-aaral sa kanilang pamumuhay. Ano-ano ang mga pananda o uri ng mga pamantayan sa pagkatuto? Ito ay retained, merged, rephrased, subsumed, and deleted. Retained kung ito ay itinuturing na esensyal kaya hindi ito nirebisa o nananatili sa dati nitong anyo o artikulasyon tulad ng makikita sa K-12 Curriculum Guide. Merged kung ito ay magkaugnay, magkahalintulad, o bahagi ng isang paksa na pinag-isa na lamang sa pamamagitan ng pagbuo ng bagong pamantayan sa pagkatuto. Rephrased kung ito ay sumasailalim sa pagpapalit ng learning verb, salita o grupo ng mga salita upang gawin itong mas tiyak, malinaw o komprehensibo. Subsumed naman kung ito ay magkakaugnay, magkakahalintulad o bahagi ng isang paksa na ipinagpapalagay na nakapaloob na sa napagkaisang independent, most essential learning competencies. Deleted naman kung hindi ito sinasama sa ibang uri ng pamantayan sa pagkatuto dahil ito ay hindi esensyal at ang pagtatanggal nito ay halos walang epekto sa pagkamit ng pamantayang pangnilalaman o pagganap ng asignatura. Upang mas lalong maintindihan kung bakit pinag-isa o ang ugnayan ng most learning competencies sa pamantayan sa pagkatuto, pamantayang pangnilalaman, at pamantayan sa pagganap, ito ang mga halimbawa mula sa elementarya, unang baitang sa unang markahan. Ang pamantayang panglilalaman o content standard kung saan ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang pag-unawa sa kahalagahan ng pagkilala sa sarili bilang Pilipino gamit ang konsepto ng pagpapatuloy at pagbabago. Samantala, ang pamantayan sa pagganap o performance standard ay ang mag-aaral na buong pagmamalaking nakapagsalaysay ng kwento tungkol sa sariling katangian at pagkakakilanlan bilang Pilipino sa malikhaing pamamaraan. Ang learning competencies from K-12 Curriculum Guide sa unang baitang, unang markahan ay ang mga sumusunod. Nasasabing ang batayang impormasyon tungkol sa sarili, pangalan, magulang, kaarawan, edad, tirahan, paaralan, at iba pang pagkakakilanlan at mga katangian bilang Pilipino ay retained dahil itinuturing na esensyal kaya hindi niribisa o nananatili sa dati nitong anyo o artikulasyon tulad ng makikita sa K-12 Curriculum Guide. Subsumed to MELC 1 naman ang dalawang learning competencies na ilalarawan ang pisikal na katangian sa pamamagitan ng iba't ibang malikhaing pamamaraan. Nasasabi ang sariling pagkakakilanlan sa iba't ibang pamamaraan, kung kaya't ang most essential learning competencies ay nasasabi ang batayang impormasyon tungkol sa sariling pangalan, magulang, kaarawan, edad, tirahan, paaralan, at iba pang pagkakakilanlan at mga katangian bilang Pilipino. Rephrase and subsumed to MELC 2 naman ang Learning Competency 4 and 5 na ilalarawan ang pansariling pangangailangan, pagkain, kasuotan at iba pang nitiin para sa Pilipinas. Number 5, natatalakay ang mga pansariling kagustuhan tulad ng paboritong kapatid, pagkain, kulay, damit, laruan, at iba pang lugar sa Pilipinas na gustong makita sa malikhain na pamamaraan. Kung kaya't ang most essential learning competencies ay nailalarawan ang pansariling pangangailangan, pagkain, kasuotan, at iba pa, at mitiin sa Pilipinas. Ang learning competencies number 6 and number 7 naman ay rephrase at subsumed to MELC 3. Ito ay natutukoy ang mahalagang pangyayari sa buhay simula ng isilang hanggang sa kasalukuyang edad gamit ang mga larawan. Pangalawa, na ilalarawan ang mga personal na gamit tulad ng laruan, damit at iba pa mula noong sanggol hanggang sa kasalukuyang edad. Ang most essential learning competencies nito ay natutukoy ang mga mahalagang pangyayari at pagbabago sa buhay simula ng isilang hanggang sa kasalukuyang edad gamit ang mga larawan at timeline. Sa ikalawang baitang, kung saan ang pamantayan sa pagkatutok o pamantayan pangnilalaman, ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang pag-unawa sa kwento ng pinagmulan ng sariling komunidad batay sa konsepto ng pagbabago at pagpapatuloy at pagpapahalaga ng kulturang nabuo ng komunidad. Samantala, ang performance standard o pamantayan sa pagganap, ang mag-aaral ay una, nauunawaan ang pinagmulan ng kasaysayan ng komunidad. Pangalawa, nabibigyang halaga ang mga bagay na nagbabago at nananatili sa pamumuhay sa komunidad. Ang learning competency sa ikalawang markahan sa ikalawang baitang ay ang mga sumusunod. Nakapagsalaysay ng pinagmulan ng sariling komunidad batay sa pagsasaliksik, pakikinig sa kwento ng mga nakakatanda sa komunidad at iba pa. Rephrase ito dahil sumasailalim sa pagpapalit ng learning verb, salita o grupo ng mga salita upang gawing mas tiyak, malinaw o komprehensibo. Ang most essential learning competencies nito ay nakapagsalaysay ng pinagmulan ng sariling komunidad batay sa pagtatanong at pakikinig sa mga kwento ng nakakatanda sa komunidad. Pangalawa, naiugnay ang mga pagbabago sa pangalan ng sariling komunidad sa mayamang kwento ng pinagmulan nito. Rephrase ito dahil sumasailalim sa pagpapalit ng learning verb, salita o grupo ng mga salita upang gawing mas tiyak, malinaw o komprehensibo. Ang most essential learning competency nito ay nailalahad ang mga pagbabago sa sariling komunidad. sa heograpiya o katangiang pisikal, politika o pamahalaan, ekonomiya o hanapbuhay o sosyo-kultural. Ang pangatlo naman ay nasasabi ang pinagmulan at pagbabago ng sariling komunidad sa pamamagitan ng timeline at iba pang graphic organizer. Merge to most essential learning competencies 2 ang ito dahil magkakaugnay at magkakahalintulad o bahagi ng isang paksa sa pinag-isa na lamang sa pamamagitan ng pagbuo ng bagong pamantayan sa pagkatuto. Ang isa nito ay nakakagawa ng maikling salaysay ng mga pagbabago sa sariling komunidad sa iba't ibang aspeto nito, tulad ng uri ng transportasyon, pananamit, libangan, pangalan ng mga kalye at iba pa, sa pamamagitan ng iba't ibang sining, pagguhit, paggawa ng simpleng graph, pagkwento at iba pa. Ang most essential learning competency ng dalawa ay na ilalahad ang mga pagbabago sa sariling komunidad, heograpiya o katangiang pisikal, politika o pamahalaan, sa sektor na ekonomiya o hanapbuhay at sosyo-kultural. At ang panghuli ay naiugnay ang mga sagisag na natatanging estruktura, bantayog ng mga bayani at mga mahalagang bagay na matatagpuan sa komunidad. Rephrase naman ito dahil sumasailalim sa pagpapalit ng learning verb, salita o grupo ng mga salita upang gawing mas tiyak, malinaw at komprehensibo. Ang most essential learning competency nito ay naiugnay ang mga sagisag, halimbawa ang estruktura na matatagpuan sa komunidad sa kasaysayan nito. Sa ikatlong baitang, ikatlong markahan, ang pamantayang pangnilalaman ay ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang pag-unawa at pagpapahalaga sa pagkakakilanlang kultural at ng kinabilangang rehiyon. Ang pamantayan sa pagganap naman ay ang mag-aaral ay nakapagpapahayag ng may pagmamalaki at pagkilala sa nabuong kultura ng mga lalawigan sa kinabibilangang rehiyon. Ang learning competencies from K-12 curriculum guide sa ikatlong markahan ng ikatlong baitang ay ang mga sumusunod, na ibibigay ang kahulugan ng sariling kultura at mga kaugnay na konsepto. Rephrase ito dahil sumasailalim sa pagpapalit ng learning competencies o learning verb, salita o grupo ng mga salita upang gawin itong mas tiyak, malinaw o komprehensibo. Ang most essential learning competency nito ay na ilalarawan ang kultura ng mga lalawigan sa kinabibilangang rehiyon. Pangalawa, na ipapaliwanag na ang mga salik geographical katulad ng lokasyon at klima ay nakaimpluwensya sa pagbuo at paghubog ng uri ng pamumuhay ng mga lalawigan at rehiyon. Rephrase ito dahil sumasailalim sa pagpapalit ng learning verb, salita o grupo ng mga salita upang gawin itong mas tiyak, malinaw o komprehensibo. Kaya, ang most essential learning competency nito ay na ipapaliwanag ang kaugnayan ng heograpiya sa pagbuo o paghubog ng uri ng pamumuhay ng mga lalawigan at rehiyon. Ang pangatlo naman ay nailarawan ang pagkakakilanlang kultural at kinabibilangang rehiyon. Ito ay retain dahil itinuturing na essential kaya hindi ito niribisa o nananatili sa dati nitong anyo o artikulasyon tulad ng makikita sa K-12 curriculum guide. Ang pangatlo at pang-apat at pang-limang learning competency ay nailarawan ang pagkakakilanlang kultural ng sariling lalawigan, na isa-isa ang mga pangkat ng mga tao sa sariling lalawigan at rehiyon, na ilalarawan ang mga kaugalian, paniniwala at tradisyon ng sariling lalawigan at ng rehiyon ay subsumed to most essential learning competency 3. Ang most essential learning competency naman nito ay nailarawan ang pagkakakilanlang kultural ng kinabibilangang rehiyon. At panghuli ay naipaliwanag ang kahalagahan ng mga makasaysayang lugar at ang mga saksi nito ay ang pagkakakilanlang kultura, ng sariling lalawigan at rehiyon. Retained ito dahil ituturing na esensyal kaya hindi nirewisa o nananatili sa dati nitong anyo o artikulasyon tulad ng makikita sa K-12 Curriculum Guide. Ang most essential learning competency nito ay naipapaliwanag ang kahalagahan ng mga makasaysayang lugar ng mga saksi nito sa pagkakakilanlang kultura ng sariling lalawigan at rehiyon. Sa ikaapat na baitang naman, unang markahan. Ang pamantayang pangnilalaman o content standard, ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang pag-unawa sa konsepto ng bansa. Pangalawa, naipamamalas ang pag-unawa sa pagkakakilanlan ng bansa ayon sa mga katangiang geographical gamit ang mapa. Sa pamantayan ng pagganap naman o performance standard, ang mag-aaral ay naipapaliwanag na ang Pilipinas ay isang bansa. Pangalawa, naipamamalas ang kasanayan sa paggamit ng mapa sa pagtukoy ng iba't ibang lalawigan at rehiyon ng bansa. The learning competencies from the current CG, may mga clustered PP na malimit na makikita sa baitang 1 to 6. Pinanatili ang unang pamantayan sa pagkatuto sapagkat komprehensibo ang pagkakabuo nito, samantalang ang dalawang sumunod ay subsumed lamang sa nauna dahil masyadong tiyak ang mga ito. Halimbawa, sa unang markahan, natatalakay ang konsepto ng bansa. Ang mga learning competencies na nakapagbibigay ng halimbawa ng bansa at naisa-isa ang mga katangian ng bansa ay pinag-isa upang ang most essential learning competency nito ay natatalakay ang konsepto ng bansa. May mga rephrase din o pinalitan ang learning verb tulad ng learning competencies na natutunton ang mga hangganan at lawak ng teritoryo ng Pilipinas gamit ang mapa. Ay pinalitan ito na ang most essential learning competencies nito ay natutukoy ang mga hangganan at lawak ng teritoryo ng Pilipinas gamit ang mapa. May mga deleted din o hindi tiyak ang pagkakabuo ng pamantayan sa pagkatuto at hindi nakaapekto sa pagsasakatuparan ng pamantayang pangnilalaman at pagganap. Kaya ang learning competencies ng natutukoy sa mapa ang kinalalagyan ng bansa sa rehiyong Asya at mundo ay pinalitan o tinanggal. Sa ikalimang baitang naman, sa unang markahan, kung saan ang pamantayang pangnilalaman o content standard, ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang mapanuring pag-unawa at kaalaman sa kasanayang pangheograpiya. Ang mga teorya sa pinagmulan ng lahing Pilipino upang mapahalagahan ang konteksto ng lipunan, pamayanan ng mga sinaunang Pilipino at ang kanilang ambag sa pagbuo ng kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Samantalang ang pamantayan sa pagganap naman o performance standard, ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang pagmamalaki sa nabuong kabiasnan ng mga sinaunang Pilipino gamit ang kaalaman sa kasanayan at pangheograpikal na mahalagang konteksto ng kasaysayan ng lipunan at bansa. Kabilang ang mga teorya ng pinagmulan at pagbuo ng kapuluan ng Pilipinas at ng lahing Pilipino. Ay mga learning competencies from the current CG ay tinanggal o yung tinatawag natin deleted dahil ipinagpalagay na ang clustered PP o pamantayan sa pagkatuto ay maari ng isakatuparan sa baitang 4 o ikaapat na baitang na siyang nakatuon sa heograpiya ng Pilipinas. Halimbawa nito ay ang Sa unang markahan na ilalarawan ang lokasyon ng Pilipinas sa mapa. Natutukoy ang kinalagyan ng Pilipinas sa mundo gamit ang mapa batay sa absolute location nito kung saan ang longitude at latitude. Natutukoy ang relatibong lokasyon o relative location ng Pilipinas batay sa karatig bansa na nakapaligid dito gamit ang pangunahin at pangalawang direksyon. Ang dalawang ito ay tinanggal dahil ito ay natutunan na ng mga mag-aaral sa ika-4 na baitang. Rephrase naman ang learning competencies na naipapaliwanag ang teorya ng pagkabuo ng kapuluan at pinagmulan ng Pilipinas batay sa teoryang volkanismo at continental shift. Pinalitan ito kaya ang most essential learning competency nito ay naipaliliwanag ang pinagmulan ng Pilipinas ng mga paksang teorya o plate tectonic theory, mito, at relihiyon. May mga learning competencies din na pinag-isa o merge. Nasusuri ang halimbawa nito ay nasusuri ang kabuhayan ng sinaunang Pilipino. Natalakay ang kabuhayan sa sinaunang panahon kaugnay sa kapaligiran, ang mga kagamitan sa iba't ibang kabuhayan at mga produktong pangkalakalan. Ang most essential learning competency nito ay nasusuri ang pang-ekonomikang panmumuhay ng mga Pilipino sa parehong pre-kolonyal. So saklaw nito ang dalawang paksa kung saan ang una ay panloob at panlabas na kalakalan. Pangalawa naman ay ang uri ng kabuhayan kung saan nakatuon sa pagsasaka, pangingisda, pangungutang, panghihiram, pangangaso, at pangangayaw, pagpapanday, at paghahabi. Sa ika-6 na baitang, unang markahan, ang pamantayang pangnilalaman naman o content standard, ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang mapanuring pag-unawa at kaalaman sa bahagi ng Pilipinas sa globalisasyon batay sa lokasyon nito sa mundo gamit ang mga kasanayang panghierograpiya at ang ambag sa malayang kaisipan sa pag-usbong ng nasyonalismong Pilipino. Ang pamantayan sa pagganap naman o performance standard, ang mag-aaral ay naipamamalas ang pagpapahalaga sa kontribusyon ng Pilipinas sa isyung pandaigdig batay sa lokasyon nito sa mundo. Kung kaya't ang learning competencies from the current curriculum guide ay may pinag-isa, tinanggal, o binago. Halimbawa nito ay ang natutukoy ang kinalalagyan ng mundo sa globo at mapa batay sa absolute location nito, ang longitude at latitude. Ito ay tinanggal o deleted dahil ipinagpalagay na ang pamantayan sa pagkatuto ay naisakatuparan na sa baitang 4 o ika-4 na baitang na siyang nakatuon sa heograpiya ng Pilipinas. Kaya hindi na ito ginamit sa ika-6 na baitang. May mga learning competencies din na subsume o merge o pinag-isa. Halimbawa nito ay ang nasusuri ang koneksyon ng pag-usbong ng liberal na idea o ideya tungkol sa pagbuo ng kamalayang nasyonalismo. Ang dalawang learning competencies naman ay subsumed, kagaya nito, natatalakay ang epekto ng pagbubukas ng mga daungan ng bansa sa pandaigdigang kalakalan at naipapaliwanag ang ambag ng pag-usbong ng uring mistiso at ang pagpapatibay ng dekretong edukasyon noong 1863. Pinag-isa ito at ang most essential learning competencies nito ay ang nasusuri ang epekto ng kaisipang liberal sa pag-usbong ng damdaming nasyonalismo. Rephrase naman ang learning competencies na natatalakay ang mga ambag ni Andres Bonifacio sa ang Katipunero o Katipunan at Himagsikan noong 1896 sa pagbuo ng Pilipinas bilang isang bansa. Pinalitan ito sa most essential learning competencies. Ito ay ang nasusuri ang mga dahilan at pangyayaring naganap sa pareho sa panahon ng himagsikang Pilipino. Ang pinag-uusapan dito ang dalawang paksa, ang sigaw ng at tatlong paksa kung saan ito ay ang sigaw ng Pugadlawin, Tejeros Convention at kasunduan sa Biak na Bato. Isa pang halimbawa ng retained sa ika-6 na baitang unang markahan ay ang natatalakay ang partisipasyon ng mga kababaihan sa Rebolusyong Pilipino. Mahalaga ang pamantayan sa pagkatuto sa mas komprehensibong pag-unawa sa paksa ukol sa Rebolusyong Pilipino. Kaya ito ay nananatili, kung saan ang most essential learning competencies nito ay natatalakay ang partisipasyon ng mga kababaihan sa Rebolusyong Pilipino. At yun lamang po, maraming salamat.
Yes, that's it. Thank you so much, Ma'am Catherine, for sharing to us the melts in Araling Panlipunan.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Catherine. So we learned new words today such as retained, merged, rephrased, subsumed o pinag-isa, and deleted.
Yes,
So we
that's
need
correct.
to learn also those new words.
Yes.
How about you, Sir Jermaine?
Actually, those words like retain, merge, rephrase, subsume, and deleted, they are done to make our competencies clear and comprehensive.
Yes. So that we will have more focus for the most essential learning competencies.
Yes, that's correct, ma'am.
So let's greet naman from Carmen Integrated
Integrated school.
School.
Wow,
So
hello po
hello,
sa
Ma'am
inyo.
Audrey, Ma'am Mary Ann, of course, headed by our dynamic school head, Sir Robert Ariate.
Hello po. Sana ay okay lang kayo dyan.
Yes. So we also have here good morning to Ma'am Mariel Limbago, Ma'am Cecilia Gore. Good morning daw from the elementary department. Sir Ayan, of course. Sheriff Cheveru Singers, good morning from Bartolome IS. So daghan salamat sa inyong pagtanaw o pag-view sa among karon.
Yes, we have also here Ma'am Giselle Days de la Peña.
Yes, hello Ma'am
Hello, ma'am.
Jaisel. Good morning.
And also, good morning daw, sabi ni Ma'am LB Saday. I don't know from what school she is.
Okay. So do we have Ma'am Kat here?
John, morning session.
Hi, hello
Okay.
ma'am.
Hi Ma'am Kat.
Hello, hello po.
Hello Ma'am Kat. Ang ganda mo naman Ma'am
Yes,
Kat.
ma'am, hello.
Sobra.
So any words po?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Do you have any additional words?
okay po. Muli, maraming salamat sa lahat. Ah, sa mga kasamahan ko sa Los Amigos National High School. Magandang araw sa inyo, lalong-lalo na po sa aming ever-supportive na school principal na si Sir Raul Kabilugan. Sir Raul A. Kabilugan. Ang lahat ng nilalaman ng ating melts ay ibabahagi sa atin ni Ma'am Alma, ay yung ating cluster coordinator. So, hintayin lang natin ang ating kopya. Maraming salamat.
So thank you po Ma'am Catherine and shout out sa Los Amigos National High School sa ating mga friends dyan. Hello po. And of course with their school head, Sir Raul Kabilugan.
Bilugan.
Hi sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir. And looking at our live streamers here, we have 22. Kanina
Bisa ka na
70
to
pa yan.
viewers sir?
Yes, we are increasing in numbers. Thank you so much for tuning in our breakout session for elementary integrated schools.
So yun, we just need also to share the link Kasi nga yung iba, parang nasa high school department. So, please share to your friends
Yes,
and your
that's
co-teachers. So, next, we will have the ESP. Ito
yes, that's
option sa
correct.
pagpapakatao.
Correct, ma'am. So, to present to us the ESP MELCs, help us welcome Ma'am Lorna A. Dairit.
Magandang araw at magandang buhay sa ating lahat. Ako po, Ginang Lorna Dairit, ang inyong lingkod sa larangan ng edukasyon sa pagpapakatao ng Cluster 6. Ako po ay taos-pusong makikiusap sa lahat ng participants at tagapakinig na seryosuhin po natin ang pakikinig sa paglalahad ng mga most essential learning competencies or MELCs kasi ito po ang ating magiging gabay sa pagtuturo ng ating asignaturang ESP. Ang ating departamento ay nakakuha po ng magaling na tagapaglahad sa pamamagitan ng ating supervisor na si PSDS Dr. Lydia V. Ampo sa katauhan ni Madam Luisita Peralta, isang senior program specialist from the Bureau of Curriculum Development, DepEd Central Office. Tunghayan po natin ang kanyang pagbabahagi ng mga most essential learning competencies ng edukasyon sa pagpapakatao.
Tatalakayin ay paano pinili ang mga most essential learning competencies sa ESP. Lahat po ng asignatura ay sinunod ang prosesong ito. Una, nagkaroon po kami ng curriculum review mula noong 2019 at naging resulta po ng curriculum review ay ang pag-uuri ng essential at desirable learning competencies ng mga na nasa curriculum guide na naka-upload dated May 2016. Pagkatapos po niyan ay sinuri namin ang mga katangian ng mga learning competencies na to. Kung ito, ang bawat isa ay sinusunod ang mga criteria ng essential at desirable. Pagkatapos po, dahil sa thesis na ito, ay kinakailangang bisitahin muli ang mga learning competencies, mga pinili naming essential learning competencies para maging most essential learning competencies. Pansinin na sa baitang 1 hanggang 6, binawasan lamang ang bilang ng mga learning competencies, samantalang sa junior high school, binawasan ang bakit. Yan ang tatalakayin sa susunod. Okay. So ano po yung mga essential learning competencies? So babasahin ko lang ng mabilisan. Unang katangian, sinasalamin ito ang mga pambansang pamantayan sa pagkatuto. May kaugnayan ito sa mga mahalagang konsepto sa ibang asignatura na ilalapat sa buhay. Sobrang mahalagang pag-aralan nila ito kung itutumpira sa ibang learning competency, lalo na kung titigil sila sa pag-aaral sa susunod na taon. At sa paaralan lamang ito matututuhan kung hindi nila ito matutuhan sa mga magulang at komunidad. So, ano naman po yung mga desirable learning competency? Kapag kulang o walang katangian ng mga essential learning competency, minabuti po namin uliin ito bilang desirable learning competency. So, mahalaga pong paunawa, binawasan lamang ang bilang ng mga learning competency sa baitang 1 hanggang 6 at ang bilang ng mga paksa sa junior high school, ngunit hindi ang mensahe o esensya ng mga paksa o learning competency. So, ano po yung mga batayan sa pagpili ng mga MELC? Una, syempre po yung criteria, yung developmental task ni Robert Habibers, mga pamantayan sa pagkatuto ng ESP at istruktura ng curriculum. Ang kaisa-isang criteria sa pagpili ng mga MELC ay endurance na talagang pangmatagalan. Ibig sabihin kahit graduate na sila, ano pa man ang kanilang profesyon o piniling curriculum exit, yung po ay mananatili sa kanila at nagiging bahagi ng kanilang pagkatao. Meron din po kaming mga dalawa pang sinaalang-alang. Yan po yung readiness for the next level of learning. Ibig sabihin, may tagline na prerequisite sa susunod na antas ng pagkatuto at leverage o may maximum na pakinabang. So, ano po ang isang ikatlong batayan ng pagpili ay yung mga pamantayan sa pagkatuto. Bawat baitang ay may pangkalahatang pamantayan ayon sa kalikasan ng asignatura. At batay dyan sa pangkalahatang pamantayan, binuo po ang pamantayan ng lalaman o content standard at pamantayan sa pagganap o performance standard. So ano po yung sinasagot ng tanong na pamantayang panglalaman? Ang tanong po ay ano ang dapat malaman at maunawaan sa paksa ng mag-aaral. Kailangan naunawaan niya, no? Ang paksang iyon. So, paano natin malalaman na naunawaan yun? Kailangan may maipakita siyang patunay o ebidensya ng pag-unawa gamit ang produkto, tangible output, o pagpapamalas ng mga kasanayan or demonstration of skills. At ito ang pamantayan sa pagganap. Okay. Mapapansin nyo na sa ESP po, hindi tayo biglang pumalaot sa mga kasanayan sa pagkatuto. Kasi bago po mabuo yung apat na yan, sa bawat paksa po ng ESP, lagi may apat na learning competency o kasanayan sa pagkatuto. Ano po ang nagdikta o nag-drive o naggabay dun sa tatlo sa apat na yun? Yun po yung ikatlong learning competency at yan po ang nandun po nakapaloob sa ikatlong learning competency ang batayang konsepto o essential understanding. Napakahalaga na maunawaan nila yung kahalagahan ng bawat paksa. No? Hindi lamang kailangan ay gagawa sila ng activity o malalaman nila ang isang pagkakahalaga, pero bakit? Ano ang epekto nito sa pagkatao nila? Okay? So, ang ikaapat po na batayan ay istruktura ng curriculum. Kami po, bago pa mag-K-12, pumalaot na kami, ginamit po namin understanding by design. No? Itong modelo ng curriculum na to ay pinauunawa sa lahat, no? Lalo na sa mga guro at sa inyong mga taga-masid, na mahalaga na maunawaan ng mga bata. Ano yung pinakamahalagang essential ng content? Bago po tayo pumili ng mga gawain o ano paman, ang gawain ay means to an end lamang. Dapat alam ng mga bata anong expert system of knowledge na dapat minatili sa kanila even beyond high school. So, ngayon, sa baitang 1 to 6 ay hindi po ganun kadirekta binanggit ng mga batayang konsepto. Kaya po itong hamon ito sa inyong mga taga-masid, sa paggabay nyo sa inyong guro, at lang din ang mga guro mismo sa kanilang pagtuturo. No? So, halimbawa po sa baitang isa, no, sa unang baitang, ito po yung halimbawa ng isang learning competency na sasabi na nakatutulong sa paglinang ng sariling kakayahan ang wastong pangangalaga sa sarili. So dito po sa font na may kulay, ito na po yung batayang konsepto. Sinasabi natin sa bata na mahalagang alagaan nila yung kanilang sarili para makamit nila yung kanilang tungunin ng kanilang mga pangarap. So, sa bawat baitang po mula ikapito hanggang ikasampu, meron pong 16 na paksa. Okay? So sa bawat paksa po niyan, mayroong 4 na uri, iba't ibang uri ng kasanayan. No? Batay sa 6 na kasanayan sa cognitive process dimensions na nakapaloob sa DepEd Order number 8. Okay? Now, ano po itong 4 na competencies na to mula grade 7 hanggang 10? So, sumungo tayo dito po sa ikatlo. No? Ito yung una namin binubuo. Ang iba sa inyo dyan, alam ko, merong 2 o 3 supervisor na kasama namin nagbuo ng curriculum na to. No? So yung ikatlo ang pinakamahalaga dahil dito nakapaloob ang batayang konsepto. Ano ang pinakamahalagang mensahe na dapat maunawaan ng mag-aaral? Halimbawa sa paksa ng isip at kilos loob, anong dapat take away nila para ano man ang gawin nila pag naalala nila yun? Kung patungo sa katotohanan at kabutihan ng lahat. Although napakadaling sabihin ko, ano? So, ang nililin ng nakasanayan nito ay comprehension and synthesis sa dating Bloom's taxonomy. Pagkatapos kung nabuo yung ikatlo, tungo tayo sa ikaapat, anong katunayan o patunay na naunawaan niya yung batayang konsepto pinakamahalagang mensahe. Dapat po ay ano ang dapat maipamalas na pag-aaral bilang patunay ng pag-unawa. Ano dapat niyang isagawa, ano dapat niyang gawin. Pagkatapos pag nabuo na yung ikatlo at ikaapat, ay ano naman ang kaalaman na kailangan upang maipamalas na mag-aaral at pag-unawa. So mahihimay po itong batayang konsepto, tatanungin ng guro at ng curriculum writer, instructional materials writer, ano dapat niyang knowledge o kaalaman, no? Na dapat niyang matandaan tungkol sa paksang ito. And finally,
Thank you, Ma'am Lorna A. Diary, for the edukasyon sa pagpapakatao, learning area.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your uh, discussions on the MELCs in ESP.
So, sabi nga ni Ma'am Lorna, yung word na enduring, Sir Jermaine. So, very common to siya sa ating milks because yung enduring, ito yung nagagamit ng mga bata ang mga competency sa kanilang pamumuhay. Ibig sabihin, pang matagalan. So, kahit kung anong course na kukunin nila, nandun pa rin yung mga competencies na yun. So, we have here Ma'am Lorna.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am Lorna.
Yes,
Hello
good morning po sa
po.
inyong dalawa. Hello po. Morning.
Morning, Ma'am
Morning po.
Lorn.
Sorry po kanina sa video ha kasi pinutol na yon for junior at saka elementary
Yes.
pero natuloy-tuloy. Sorry na lang po. Elementary lang po
It's
sana
okay.
kasi mamaya pa yung junior
Yes.
high school. Pero okay
lang
na
po.
rin yun.
Yes
Okay
po.
po.
No problem, ma'am.
So,
Any additional inputs, ma'am?
opo, ma'am. Actually, clarify ko lang po, ang nagsasalita po, ang nagbabahagi po ay si Ma'am Lou Peralta po, yung
Okay.
taga-national po Central Office. So, mag-shoutout lang din po ako, ma'am, kasi yung kanina na intro ng ating video po, wala po nag-greet yung mga dapat i-greet. So, to our Dynamic
po,
SDS, Dr. Rinaldo Villena, sir, to our Energetic Cluster 6 Head, Dr. Junito Galan, sir, our ESP consultant, PSDS, Dr. Lydia B. Ampo, to my amiable principal, Dr. Leah Camilotes, ma'am, to the ESP subject cluster consultant, Sir Judivin Abadia, at sa lahat ng mga elementary principals at teachers po na nanonood ngayon, good morning po sa inyong lahat. At saka lubos po ako nagpapasalamat kay Ma'am Lou Peralta sa kanyang oras at panahon sa pagbabahagi ng mga most essential learning ng edukasyon sa pagpapakatao po. Yun lang po at maraming salamat po.
So, thank you, Ma'am
Thank
Lorna.
you, ma'am Lorna.
Happy watching also for their principal, Ma'am Leah Camilotes.
Yay! Actually, ESP, this is the last subject that we will be taking this morning.
Okay.
Right, ma'am?
Yes, and pahabol naman natin yung shoutout ni Sir Ayan.
Oh,
Good
yes.
morning po! Pa-shoutout naman po sa lahat ng teachers ng Valderas Integrated School. Happy teaching and learning.
Yay.
Thank you, Sir Ayan. So, I guess that's it for this morning, Sir Jermaine.
Yes. So, mamayang hapon, meron na naman tayong limang subject na i-discuss yung mga MELCs. Like, we have here English, Filipino, Mathematics, and Science. So, panoorin nyo yan mamayang hapon.
Yes. So, please stand by and share the links for the afternoon session. So, thank you once again and good morning.
Good morning. Bye-bye.